Darkling beetle is the common name of the large family of beetles, Tenebrionidae. The number of species in the Tenebrionidae is estimated at more than 20,000 and the family is cosmopolitan. Human transport has spread several individual species inadvertently so that each of them has become cosmopolitan. Examples include Tribolium, castaneum and other now-cosmopolitan pests of stored products. Taxonomy and naming. The name Tenebrionidae means roughly, those that are like Tenebrio. Tenebrio was the Latin generic name that Linnaeus had assigned to some flower beetles in his 10th edition of Systema Naturae 1758-59. Tenebrio in turn literally means seeker of dark places, or figuratively a trickster. In English, Darkling is a more or less literal translation of Tenebrio, meaning dweller in dark. Many species do inhabit dark places, but there are exceptions. For example, many species of Tenebrionidae in genera such as Stenocara and Onomacris are active by day and inactive at night. The name Tenebrionidae accordingly reflects the knowledge available to the taxonomists who first assign the name. It is not a general reflection of Tenebrionid biology. The family Tenebrionidae not only includes a large number of species, but also an immensely varied range of forms, so much so that it presents great difficulties in classification. Taxonomic work still is in progress, but the following list of subfamilies was largely accepted in 2005. Aliculinae Laporti, 1840, Cocyphodinae Wasman, 1899, Diaperinae Latrial, 1802, Laginae Latrial, 1825, Nilianae Lacordae, 1859, Phrenopatinae Solua, 1834, Pymalianae Latrial, 1802, Stenocinae Kirby, 1837, Tenebrionidae Latrial, 1802, Zolodinae Watt, 1974. The misspelling Terebrionidae, though unusual, occurs frequently enough to be a nuisance and, because it is easily overlooked, it is a possible source of confusion in scans of the literature. The error appears to have no particular significance, but to be the product of misreadings, misscans, and mistypings. Characteristics. The Tenebrionidae may be identified by a combination of features, including their 11 segmented antennae that may be filiform, moniliform, or weakly clubbed. First, abdominal stenites is entire and not divided by the hindcoxar, eyes are notched by a frontal ridge, the tarsi have 4 segments in the hind pair and 5 in the fore and mid-legs, tarsal claws are simple. Biology and ecology. Tenebrionid beetles occupy ecological niches in mainly deserts and forests as plant scavengers. Most species are generalistic omnivores, and feed on decaying leaves, rotting wood, fresh plant matter, dead insects, and fungi as larvae and adults. However, several genera, including Bolititerus, are specialized fungivores which feed on polypores. Many of the larger species are flightless, and those which are capable, such as Tenebrionidae, only do so when necessary, such as when dispersing or malnourished. The larvae, known as mealworms or false wireworms, are usually fossorial, heavily armored, and nocturnal, and may possibly be an important resource for certain invertebrates and small mammals. However, the adults of many species have chemical defenses and are relatively protected against predators. Adults of most species, except grain pests, have slow metabolisms, and live extremely long compared to other insects, from approximately 6 months to 2 years. Some species live in intensely dry deserts such as the Namib, and have evolved adaptations by which they collect droplets of fog that deposit on their elytra. As the droplets accumulate, the water drains down the beetles' backs to their mouthparts, where they swallow it. Notable species. The larval stages of several species are cultured as feeder insects for captive insectivores or as laboratory subjects. Tenebrionidae is commonly used to feed terrestrial amniotes kept in terraria. Tribolium castaneum is a laboratory animal useful as a model organism, especially in studies of intragenomic conflict and population ecology. Zophobos morio, or superworm, is valued as a feed for captive reptiles. It contains less chitin than Tenebrionidae. Alpha-Tobias diaperinus or lesser mealworm larvae are smaller than Tenebrionidae and thus more suitable as feed for smaller reptiles. Many tenebrionids are pests of cereal and flour silos and other storage facilities, including T. castaneum, other Tribolium species such as Tribolium confisum and Tribolium destructor, and Gnathosaurus cornutus. In southwestern North America, species of the genus Leodes are well known as pinnacle beetles, or desert stink beetles. Several genera, such as Stenocara and Onomacres, are of interest in ecological studies of arid conditions and their associated adaptations. Palembos dermastoids or eulamoids dermastoids, known as peanut beetle, cancer beetle, or asthma beetle, is eaten in Argentina where it is thought to be a treatment for cancer, asthma, and other illnesses. Image gallery. References. External links, Tenebrionidae.net. Information and pictures about Darkling beetles, Alphatobius diaprinus, lesser mealworm. University of Florida IFAS, Lichenum canaliculatum variegatum, Madagascar beetle. University of Florida IFAS.